Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Is happy to be here again with you on the 7th. We're hoping that the lesson that we bring today gives some inspiration and some insights on what it is about keeping the seventh day. So the title for our lesson today, it is, If God Say It, Obey It. That's easy. If God say it, obey it. And so we're going to get into some scriptures today to show that the Sabbath is still good, that the Sabbath, we are still supposed to abide by it, whether it be Old Testament writing or New Testament writing. It hasn't been changed. So obeying the seventh day is still in effect. And so we're going to prove those facts, and we're going to let each and every person that's here with us this evening know how to obey the seventh day. And with nothing else, we will have Brother Yoram with us today. We have our sister Hanaya, and I am the prophet Shem. And so we're going to begin with the book of Genesis, and we're going to look at the second chapter, and we're going to look at verses 2 and verses 3. We want to read that, brother?
Yeah. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
On the seventh day, God rested out of all the work that he had did and all the things that he did, all those 6 days and stuff. And the seventh day, he rested. And so read verse 3, brother.
And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. And sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
And so it says, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. That means he hallowed it. That means that he made it a different day than all the other days. He made it a holy day, because it was the day of rest. It took him 6 days to do all the work that he did. But on the seventh day, he rested. And therefore, God hallowed the seventh day, which means that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and parts of Friday, that those days are all just about the same. But on the seventh day, it is a different day, because it's the day that God chose for that day to be holy, and for everyone else to follow his examples of what he did on the seventh day. And what did he do on the seventh day? He rested. And so that's why it tells us that on the seventh day that we are not supposed to do any cooking. We're not supposed to do any cleaning. We're supposed to not do any kindling or anything that goes against what it is that Yahweh had did on that seventh day. If he didn't do it, we shouldn't do it. And it's just the way that the title of the lesson is. If God said it, obey it. And so we're going to see in these scriptures a lot of things that God said and a lot of things that he did, and all the hypocrites that had problems with what Yahweh was doing on the seventh day. And so we're going to have our sister Hanaya. She's going to look at the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Read that, sister.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8.
Read.
Remember the Sabbath day.
What did he say?
Remember the Sabbath day.
He didn't say, oh, ignore the seventh day. He said to do what?
Remember the Sabbath day.
Read.
To keep it holy.
To keep it holy.
6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work.
6 days shall thou labor and do all of that work. Read.
But the seventh day
Mm-hmm.
is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Uh-huh.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
Thou shalt not do what?
Any work.
No, I can do some work on the Sabbath day.
Any work.
Read.
Thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter,
Mm-hmm.
nor thy manservant,
Uh-huh.
nor thy maidservant,
Mm-hmm.
nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Nobody. Nothing is supposed to be done on the Sabbath day. Read that, my sister.
For in 6 days the
In
Lord
6 days, read.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in this Salat, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
He hallowed it. He ordained it. He chose it. Out of all the days, he chose the seventh day for us to obey that. All the things that he tells us that we shouldn't do in these scriptures right here, that's what we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be going out buying and selling. We shouldn't be going out partying and having fun and stuff. We shouldn't be going to the ballpark, having our kids at the ballpark on Friday and Saturday, when Yahweh Shah specifically tells us that that's a day that's separated from all the other days. It is a special day unto the Lord. The day that we're supposed to be getting with our brothers and our sisters, and we're supposed to be paying homage to Yahweh Shah, giving him praise, thanking him for his creation and all the things that he did within those 6 days. And we're supposed to take the seventh day and separate it because he hallowed it. He made it holy, different from all the other days. Read what you have for me, my brother.
Exodus chapter 31, verse 13.
Read it again.
Exodus chapter 31, verse 13.
Read.
Speak thou.
Speak thou.
Speak thou also unto the children of Israel.
Speak it to who?
Unto the children of Israel.
No, speak it to everybody.
Unto the children of Israel.
Read.
Saying, Verily, my Sabbath ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you.
It is a sign between me and you. It's a sign for the whole world.
Throughout your generations.
Throughout what?
Throughout your generations.
Read.
That ye may know that I am the Lord that doeth sanctify you.
He say that what? That he is what?
That I am the Lord that doeth sanctify you.
He say he is the Lord that sanctify you. He's ordering you. He's commanding you to do these things. That's why he said that speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbath ye shall keep, but it is a sign between me and you. He's saying that it's a sign between you and I, Israel. It's not a sign between anyone else. He didn't tell other people this. He only told the Israelites this. He said it's a sign between you and I throughout your generation. He didn't say throughout the day, throughout this month, throughout next year. He said throughout your generations. That means your children's children, throughout your generation, forever, everlasting. That's a covenant that he has with you, and that he expects for you to keep his covenant, because those are what he ordained to be a holy day. So therefore, he is looking for the Israelites to be a holy people, separated, just like the Sabbath day is separated. He's looking for us to be separated from other people, because it's not directed towards other people. It's only directed towards the Israelites and no one else. And so that's why he said, you keep it throughout your generation, that you may know that I am the Lord. That he's the one that created the heaven and the earth. He's the one that made these things in 6 days. He wants you to know that he is the Lord that sanctify you. Sanctify you what? With this truth. He's sanctifying you. And so therefore we what? We should obey. Whatever. If God say it, we should obey it. Am I right about it? That's right. So let's look at the next scripture. We're going to be looking at the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 12. And could you read that, my sister?
Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 12.
Read.
Keep the Sabbath day.
Keep the Sabbath day.
To sanctify it.
There you go again. To sanctify it.
As the Lord thy God hath commanded thee.
As the Lord thy God has commanded thee. This is a commandment. This is not something that he's asking you to do. This is something that he's commanding you to do. This is what? Is it the fourth commandment? This is one of the commandments that he tells us to do, that people tell us that these commandments are done away with. But there's nowhere in the Bible where it tells you that these commandments are done away with. It tells us, plain and simple, that what? That keep the seventh day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. It's best to obey God. Like I keep saying, if God said it, obey it. This is not hurting you. This is easy to do, to keep the seventh day. All it takes is some discipline and being obedient to what Yahushua is saying. It's not hard what he's saying. Stop believing what people telling you about this is hard to do, because it's not. They're telling you this because they want you to continue to disrespect Yahushua, and so you won't have no rights to the kingdom. Let's do what God is commanding us to do, so that we may be able to have a chance at what? The kingdom. That's what it's about. It's about kingdom doing, kingdom living, so we can be able to receive the kingdom. Am I right about it? That's right. Yahushua says that if God said, then we should obey it. We don't have a problem about obeying man's laws, but when it comes to Yahushua, it is so hard. Why is it so hard for us to do something that's easier than what man laws are? Are we not afraid of the punishment that we can receive from Yahushua? Are we more afraid of the punishment that we can receive from man than the punishment that we can receive from Yahushua? How twisted can we be to know that within what? A split second or less, he can determine whether you live or whether you die. And so that's why we need to obey God rather than man, because man can only lead you to the lake of fire. But God, Yahushua, he's giving you kingdom opportunity. Are you going to accept the opportunity today to be able to dwell in the kingdom? Israel, are you going to be able to accept that commandment so that you may be able to dwell in the kingdom? I know as for me and my house, we're going to obey Yahushua and not man. Because what man can do to me is nothing compared to what Yahushua can do to me. And so when we look at the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 1 through 4, some read that for me.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1.
Read.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
He say, speak unto the children of Israel. Read.
And saying unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts.
Obey him. Holy convocation. See, there's a lot of things that we don't see in the Bible because they have been taken out. So we have to go to the Apocrypha to be able to see what the Holy Convocation and a lot of those feast days are about. Because they knew what they were doing when they were taking those books of the Apocrypha out. Because we can't understand and get a full understanding about the Holy Convocation and stuff. That's one of the feast days. But we don't understand it because it has been totally removed. And the only way that you can be able to recollect and get another understanding of it is you have to go through the Apocrypha and start reading that in the book of the Maccabees. And that's what we have to do. Continue, my brother. Read on.
6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation.
And holy convocation. You rest on these days because we go to work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But there's a day of rest. When it means day of rest, it don't mean like you're just laying around being lazy, slouching around. That means that you putting all your attention on your house. Like I say, you are thanking him. You are continuing to be blessed by him daily for the world that he made for you to dwell in. He wants you to live in this world according to the way that he orchestrated it. Not the way that man tell you, but the way that Yahweh is telling you how he wants you to live it. He wants you to live it holy. That's the way he wants you to live this. Holy. Don't be like the hypocrites. He say, live this life. He say, live this day, a holy day. It's a holy convocation between you and your God. That's what it's about. Read.
Ye shall do no work.
Ye shall do no work. Read.
Therein
It
is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
In all your dwellings. No matter where you are. No matter where you are. I don't care where you are. You have to honor this day. No matter where you are. Oh, well, you know, I'm out doing something. No, no matter where you at, you got to honor this day. You have to honor this day by continuing to do what it is that he's telling you to do. You can't honor this day by, like I say, going to the ballpark on Saturday, watching your kids play ball, going to the barbecue on Saturdays and stuff, drinking beer and all that, doing all that crazy stuff, cursing and everything. You got to do it wherever it is, your dwelling, no matter where it is you are. You got to have respect and you got to be acknowledgeable at all times on Yahweh's Sabbath day. That's what it's telling us. What do you have for me, my sister?
Verse 4.
Read.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
Even holy convocation.
Even holy convocation.
Which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
Which ye shall proclaim in their season. When are they coming? These holy days have certain days and seasons. Just like what? The 7th day. It has a special day. When is that? That's from sundown Friday evening to sundown Saturday evening. Those are the days that has been ordained for you. It's a what? It's a holy day. It's a holy convocation. There are other feast days. There are other days that have set dates that we're supposed to abide by. Not Easter, but the Passover. Because I ain't never seen a bunny rabbit lay an egg. Bunny rabbits have little rabbits. They don't have no egg. You don't see no egg. That's a bunch of bull crap. And we got to start to knowing and stop being ignorant and stupid and patronizing all these pagan things that we have been doing for generations and generations, being contrary to what Yahweh will is for you. He doesn't mention a rabbit nowhere. So if he doesn't mention a rabbit, you shouldn't mention a rabbit. That's why I said, if God say it, obey it. Read what you got for me, my sister.
Nehemiah chapter 13.
Read.
Verse 15.
Read.
In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath.
They saw what?
Wine presses on the Sabbath. and bringing in sheaves, and lading asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens,
Read.
which they brought into Jerusalem
On what?
on the Sabbath day.
And what happened?
And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victual.
They was coming in and they was coming through the gates and they was selling everything that they could. And they were doing it on the seventh day. And the people, they were buying it. The same way that the people are doing and buying stuff on Saturdays here. You go to Walmart, you go to Stone Mart, whatever store it is, they are buying and they are selling on the seventh day, which Yahweh shall tell us that we shouldn't be doing. But who says that we can do it? The white man. And so, like they say, if you white, you right. If you brown, stick around. But if you black, get back. But when Yahweh shall come and crack the sky and start destroying this place with nuclear fire, what are you going to have to say then? What are going to be your explanation? What are you going to be able to say to Yahweh shall then when he has already forewarned you what it is that he expects for you to do on his seventh day? Read.
Verse 16.
Read it.
There dwelt men of Tyre
In Africa.
also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware,
They bought everything. Read.
and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem.
They did everything. They sold it to our people and we bought it. Suppose that on the seventh day, if we didn't go to the store and buy nothing, if we didn't patronize those sales, those white sales, those Black Friday sales, and all those crafty council things that they have us doing. Suppose we didn't go and patronize those places, then those places would practically have to go out of business because they depend on the so-called black dollar more so than they do anybody else's. That's because what? Because they know how we are. They know that we are people that's always trying to up one another instead of getting together and saying, well, let's us open up a store. But we can't never work together because there's so much jealousy, envy, and strife in Israel and in Judah. And that's why we are behind and still continue to be in this docile state of mind that we are in today. When are you going to get up? Are you ready to get up, Judah? Are you ready to get up, Israel? Are you ready to start being on the top and not continue to have to be on the bottom? Well, what did he say? If God said, obey it. Let's do what God tells us to do. Let's try him for a change because we've tried everything else and nothing has worked. We're in the same situation today that we were in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Let's start to make a change and let's show Yahweh that we can be obedient and that we can love him and that we can keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Read.
Verse 17.
Read.
Then I contended with the nobles of Judah.
They were the same way. Read.
And said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do?
What?
What evil thing is this that ye do?
That was evil what they were doing. It's evil what they were doing. It was nothing good about what they were doing. Why? Because they were violating the commandment that Yahweh had gave from the book of Genesis. From the beginning, they were violating those laws. Read. And
profane the Sabbath day.
They profane the seventh day. That's just like cussing it. That's like just saying, oh, I don't care about no seventh day. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do what it is that I want to do. Ain't no law, these laws. I don't care nothing about these laws. That's how they are today. That's how they disrespect our God. Very disrespectful to our one true, the most high God. When are you going to make a change, Israel? When are you going to stop doing the things so disrespectful to your God, to the God that brought your forefathers out of the land of Egypt in the house of bondage, took you out of the hands of Pharaoh, and led you to the promised land. How long it's going to take you? He said, remember the days of old. Remember those men. What it is that you shouldn't be doing. Read.
Verse 18. Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us?
Who brought that evil upon us?
God bring all this evil upon us.
Yahweh brought all that evil upon us. Did nobody else bring that evil upon us? He brought that evil upon us for being disobedient to us. Just like our forefathers were disobedient, we are being more so disobedient today than they were. And so he brought this evil to your attention. Read.
And upon this city,
Uh-huh.
yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath.
You bring more wrath against yourself by being disobedient. No one can bring the kind of wrath that you are receiving today but Yahweh. It's on you. The ball is in your court. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? What changes are you going to make? Are you going to start doing the thing that Yahweh shall command you to do? Are you going to start teaching your young kids so that when they grow up, they can be able to teach their kids so that we can go home? Are you ready to go home? I know I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go back to the land that he promised us, the land of milk and honey. And this is not it. America is not it. America is Babylon, the fallen nation. They say all great nations, all great kingdoms shall fall, shall perish, shall be eliminated from on the face of the earth. Read what you got, brother.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 21.
Read.
Thus says the Lord, take heed to yourselves.
Read.
And bear no burden on the Sabbath day.
Don't cause no trouble. Keep this Sabbath day. Don't bear no burdens on yourself. Don't cause you to have to go through something that you don't have to go through. You bringing all this stuff on yourself. And so you have no one to blame but yourself. You can't say, well, God is called. You are right about that. He is causing this because you're bringing it on yourself. All these burdens, they are burdens that has been caused by your own activity. Nobody else. Read.
Non bringing it in by the gates of Jerusalem.
It say the Sabbath day, nor bringing it in by the gate. See, they was coming into the gates of the city, doing all these things, bringing all this stuff into the gates of the city, and nobody was what? Saying anything about it. They were patronizing it. So if you patronizing something, what are they going to continue to do? They're going to continue to come in and bring it because they know you're going to continue to receive it. If they bring it, you're going to receive it. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, if God said don't do it, you shouldn't do it. If God say do it, then you should do it. Just like it said, if God say it, what? You need to obey it. That's what the Bible is saying. Stop being obedient. Stop being contrary to what his will is and live by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Stop causing all these burdens on yourself and start living so you can start seeing the daylight. You don't see nothing but darkness. And when you stumble, you don't even know what it is that tripped you up because you in darkness. Wake up, open your eyes, and start doing thus says Yahweh. Read. Jeremiah 17 and 27.
Never
Jeremiah 17 and 27. Jeremiah 17 and 27. You see it? All right, read it, brother.
Matthew chapter 7.
Jeremiah.
Chapter 17, verse 27.
Read.
But if ye will not hearken unto me to hold the 7th day,
If you don't listen to me, if you don't hearken unto me, and if you don't make a difference with this 7th day, read.
and not to bear a burden,
See, don't bear no burdens. Read.
even enter in at the gates of
Don't bring that stuff into the gates. Don't bring that stuff in the gates to the city. Don't accept that stuff. Don't buy that stuff. Run them people away from that. Run them out. Just like when Yahushua came and they were selling all them things in the temple. What did he do? He started turning over tables and everything. He was showing his disapproval. And we supposed to show our disapproval when it was something that's going against what our God is telling us. Read.
on the 7th
To bear a burden.
on the 7th day, then will I kindle a fire in the gates.
He gonna kindle a fire. Read.
Therefore, and it shall devour the places of
The
Jerusalem,
palace.
the palace of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched.
He's gonna have anger. He's gonna have a fire going on. And no matter how much water you try to throw on that fire, you're not gonna be able to put that fire out. No matter how you try to say, oh, forgive me, I didn't mean to do it, that fire is gonna continue because he's gonna be the one that's kindling that fire. He's not even gonna give you no more passes because this word has already been spoken to you by the prophets. But you're not paying them any attention. You continuing to what? Cause burdens on yourself by allowing them to come into the gates of the city and profaning God's 7th and holy day. And so you got to get it right. Stop living like you a Gentile and start living like you an Israelite. Because that's what you are. You are Israelite. Read.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 11 and 12.
Read.
It reads, Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women,
Read Matthew chapter 12.
Verse 11 and 12.
Read.
And he said unto them,
Read.
What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out?
What would you do if something happened to one of your animals and it's the 7th day? That's not working if you go out there and take that animal out of whatever situation it's in. He says it's good to do good on the 7th day. So don't let that be a burden to you. Read, my sister.
Verse 12. How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath day.
It is lawful to do well on the 7th day. There is nothing, if the 7th day is holy, and if the 7th day is being sanctified, what doing good is? It's the same thing as being holy. It's the same thing as being sanctified to do good on the 7th day. There's nothing that can be done to man if he's doing good on the 7th day. Nothing at all. And so we have to understand. Stop letting people tell us that we're doing wrong when we're doing something good on the 7th day. Because all those things is up under the umbrella of being sanctified, being righteous, being holy. You see? That's not a burden. That's not casting the 7th day behind your back. That's keep it within the 7-day realm. You're doing good. You're doing good for that animal. You're doing good in the presence of Yahweh Shah, and you're doing good in the presence of him towards you. It is okay to do good on the 7th. If God say it, obey it. Read.
Mark chapter 2, verse 27.
Read Mark.
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man.
What did you say?
The Sabbath was made for man.
The Sabbath was made for man. Read.
And not man for the Sabbath.
And not man for the Sabbath. You see? The Sabbath was made for man. The Sabbath was made for man and not. It said the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. Man wasn't made for the 7th day. The 7th day was made for you. In it, what did you do? You shouldn't do none of those things that Yahweh Shah told you that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't be doing it. It's not by man. It's God, Yahweh Shah. Read that again, my brother. What it's saying 2 and 27.
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
Read.
Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath.
See, you can't get past that. He's the one that is about the 7th day. We honor him for the gratitude of the 7th day, for the gratitude of being able to be humble and submissive and obey what it is that he's telling us, because he the one established the 7th day. Not man, but Yahweh Shah. He established the 7th day. Man can't take no credit for this. Read what you got, my sister.
Luke chapter 4, verse 15 through 16. And it reads, and he taught in their synagogue.
He did what?
He taught in their synagogue.
He taught in their synagogues.
Being glorified of all.
Being glorified of everyone.
And he came to Nazareth.
And he came to Nazareth. He's familiar with Nazareth. Read.
Where he had been brought up.
Where he was raised up from a baby, from a child. He went to Nazareth.
And his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the 7th day.
He went into the synagogue on the 7th day because that was what? That was his custom. Read.
And stood up for to read.
He taught. He preached. He read on the 7th day. He didn't do it on Sunday. He didn't do it on Monday. He didn't do it on Wednesday or Friday. He went on the 7th day. Because what they read that scripture again for me, sister? 16.
And he came to Nazareth.
He came to Nazareth.
Where he had been brought up.
Where he had been brought up.
And as his custom was.
As what?
And as his custom was.
No, man's custom.
His custom was.
No, the Pharisees' custom.
His custom was.
Read.
He went into the synagogue on the 7th day and stood up for to read.
Who was in the synagogue? The Jews were in the synagogue. He always went to the synagogue and preached, whether the Jews always resort. Not nobody else. He went specifically where the Jews were. Because this word was for Israel. Just like what he was telling us in the book of Genesis, that it shall be between you and I. That's why he ain't went nowhere else. The Bible don't say that he went someplace else. He said he went back to where he was from. Nazareth, right? And he did what? He stood up and taught. He stood up and read. And that was on the 7th day. He hollered it. He made sure that the people got it. But today, We want to act like we don't understand. We want to act like everything is done away with. We want to act like God has changed. And he said that he doesn't change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And he's the same God that brought you out of your bondage. He's the same God when you get into your situation and your circumstances. He's the same God that'll bring you out if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. If you keep his Sabbath day. Not going up in them churches on Sunday. Y'all should be scared when you go up in there that he don't come and blow the church up. Because that is disrespect to what he said the days that he hollered. And so it would be justice if something was to happen to you when you went to church on Sunday. Because you surely ain't going on the day that you're supposed to go. Very, very disrespectful and disobedient people, Israel. And you are his chosen. But when somebody tell you that you are the chosen, no, we all equal. No, we're not all equal. We keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. We are perfect in Yahweh's eyes. And we also are above all people that are upon the face of this earth. You see, because it's two, he says earth and world in the book of Psalms. We have to remember who is the world that he's talking about. He's talking about the world of the Israelites. But this earth, he's going to destroy. But he's going to what? Bring the 1/3 of Israel through the fire. But the 5%ers and the 2/3, they're going to be destroyed in nuclear fire. What you got for me, brother?
Luke chapter 6, verse 9.
Luke chapter 6 and verse 9. Read.
Then said Yahushua unto them, I will ask you one thing.
He finna ask them a question. Read.
Is it lawful on the 7th days to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it?
He's asking these people this because these are some hypocrites that he's talking to now. What is he saying? Read that again, my brother.
Then said Yahushua unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the 7 days to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it?
Read 10.
And looking around about upon them all, he said unto the man,
Read.
Stretch forth thy hand. And he did so. And his hand was restored, whole as the other.
Whole as the other. See, he healed. It's okay. It's good to do good on the Sabbath. It's not good to kill. It's not good to destroy. It's not good to mess up what it is that Yahweh Shah is telling you. At no time that it's good to what? Kill or take a man's life. But to save a man's life, you doing what Yahweh Shah, what? It makes him please. It pleases him when you do those things, that it shows him that you are what? Like-minded in the things that he do as well. And we're gonna start to really seeing in this next one. So okay, so let's look at the book of Luke chapter 13. Read.
Luke chapter 13, beginning with verse 14 and 15.
Read.
And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation.
Read.
Because that Yahushua had healed on the Sabbath day.
You see, they did what? Read that again, sister.
And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because that Yahushua had healed on the Sabbath day.
Read that one more time for me, sister.
And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because that Yahushua had healed on the Sabbath day.
Read.
And said unto the people, there are 6 days in which men ought to work. In them, therefore, come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day.
See? Now, what are they doing? They're trying to say that Yahushua is not supposed to be doing what he's doing. They're trying to say that he ain't supposed to be doing no healing or nothing. The man could be sick. Anybody could be sick. But because it's the Sabbath day, the hypocrites, they saying what? Let him die. But we just got through reading scripture where it's that he don't want any man to perish. These are hypocrites. These are what the hypocrites did yesterday, and these are the things that they're continuing to do today. Read on, my sister.
Verse 15.
Read.
The Lord then answered him and said,
what did he say?
Thou hypocrite, doeth not each one of you on the Sabbath lose his ox
read.
or his ass from the stall and lead him away to watering?
You see what's happening? Just like he healed that man, what do they do with their animals? They have to take that animal out the corral. They have to take that animal down in order to be able to get that animal some water so that animal won't thirst. Are they not doing the same thing, doing good on the Sabbath? They're doing good because what? They're keeping life. They're keeping that animal alive. And they're doing it on the Sabbath day. Had they may have did it on another day, the animal may have died of thirst. But they did it on the 7th day. And so he let them know that you are a hypocrite. You're going to try to tell me that I shouldn't be doing something on the 7th day, and then you turn right around and you do the same thing, but then you look at me with contention. You look at me in amazement because you're saying that I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing. But when you're looking at somebody else doing something, then you should turn around and look at yourself. Why can't you criticize yourself like you're trying to criticize Yahushua? Both acts are good, but you're trying to criticize him. You see, people need to stop doing what they're doing. They're doing the same thing today. You see? And let's look at the next book. Let's look at the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 19 and 20.
Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 29. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 19
and 20.
And 20.
Read what you got, brother.
I am the Lord, your God.
He says what?
I am the Lord, your God.
I am the Lord, your God.
Walk in my statutes.
Walk in my ways.
And keep my judgments.
And keep my judgments.
And do them.
And what?
And do them.
Read that again.
I am the Lord, your God.
I am the Lord, your God.
Walk in my statutes.
Walk in my statutes.
And keep my judgments.
And keep my judgments.
And do them.
Read.
And hold my Sabbath.
Read and keep my Sabbath.
And they shall be a sign between me and you.
They shall be a sign between me and you. Read.
That ye may know that I am the Lord your God.
That I am the Lord your God. Not I am the Lord their God. Not I am the Lord all God. I am the Lord your God. He's talking to the Israelites. He's telling them the same thing that he was telling them in prior scripture. This is between you and I. This is a bond that we have. Keep this bond so that our relationship may continue to be what? Sanctified. You see, keep this thing going. Don't stop it. Read 20 again for me, brother.
Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 20. And how my Sabbath, and they shall be a sign between me and you,
They should be a sign between me and you.
that ye may know that I am the Lord your God.
I'm your God. Not them Pharisees, not them hypocrites, not their ways, but I'm your God and none else. What does the book of Job chapter 2 and 27 say? Ye shall know that I'm in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God and none else. Read 20 again, brother. Let's read 20 again.
And hold my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you,
There should be a sign between me and you,
that ye may know that I am the Lord your God.
that I am the Lord your God. Know who your God is. Don't let people persuade you and dictate you so that you would be in the lake of fire. But be dictated by me. Honor me. Keep my Sabbath. Don't cause the Sabbath to be a burden on yourself by not keeping it. Because if you don't keep it, I'm going to surely punish you. And all the fire and everything that's surrounding you is not going to be able to be quenched. Because my anger is fierce. He has that fierce anger when you disobey him. That's why we are today on the bottom. Because his anger is fierce towards us because we continue to be disobedient to what he's telling us. And so we have to get it together, Israel. Come on, Judah. You the head tribe. You're supposed to be setting the example. Whether people are going to hear it or whether they don't hear it. Whether they like you or whether they don't like you. I'd rather for them not to like me than Yahweh. I need all his love because long as they hate me and he loved me, I don't have to fear them because he's going to send the angels, the holy angels, to protect me, to watch over me, and to shred anyone that try to do me any hurt, harm, or danger. He's not going to let it happen because I do those things that are pleasing in his sight. You see? That's what it's about. Come on, my sister, give me something in Isaiah 58 and 13 and 14.
Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13 and 14.
Read.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath,
If thou turn thy foot away from the Sabbath,
from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight.
Oh, I'm going to do what I want to do. Oh, this is the day I go out and do my thing. I ain't caring nothing about no Sabbath day. I'm going out to get mine on. Read.
And slack the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways.
Not doing your own thing. Read.
Nor finding thy own pleasure.
Oh, you can't worry about how you going to do this thing. You got to do it like it's already established for you. Read.
Nor speaking thy own words.
That ain't what he really say. I can do it this way. God know my heart. He gonna forgive me. That's a bunch of rubbish. Read.
Verse 14. Then shall thy delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth.
I'm gonna bless you on this planet wherever your feet will go. I'm gonna bless you wherever your eyes look. I'm gonna bless you because, read, sister.
And feed thee with heritage of Jacob, thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken.
What did this lesson say? If God say it, obey it. Read what you just read, sister.
Verse 14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord.
Then shall thou delight thyself in the Lord,
and I will cause thee to ride high. Salat. Then I shall cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father.
That's the inheritance. That's the covenant. That's all the promises. That's all those things that has been promised to us. Read.
For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it.
For who said it?
The Lord hath spoken it.
The hypocrite said this.
The Lord hath spoken it.
For the Lord has spoken it. You see? It's about him. It's not about us. It's not about how we feel. It's not how we trying to break things down, but it's how he clear, plain, and simple said how we should honor and keep these days that he has for us holy. Because it's not between everybody. It's only between the Israelites and Yahweh. That's what the word is telling us today. Read what you got, my brother.
Acts chapter 17, verse 2.
Read.
And Paul, as his matter was, went into them, and the 7 days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
Paul gave them scripture. Just like what we are sitting right here doing today. Read scripture and explaining them. Read that again, brother. Read 17 and 2 again.
And Paul, as his matter was, went into them, and the 7 days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
And sister, can you get verse 3 for me? Get verses 3. And let's read that in the book of 17, Acts chapter 3.
Acts chapter 17, verse 3.
Wait a minute. I want you to read 2 again, brother. You got it? I want you to read 2 again. Read. We're going to connect this so we can get a better understanding. Read.
Acts chapter 17, verse 2.
Read.
And Paul, as his matter was.
What was Paul? They say as Paul, as his manner was, he was a teacher. He was a preacher. Read.
Was went in unto them. And 7 days.
He did it 3 7ths in a row. 3 7ths in a row. Paul went to do and explain to these people what is happening. Because apparently what? They didn't know or they were confused. Paul come to give these people clarity through the scripture. Read.
Reason with them out of the scriptures.
Read number 3, sister.
Verse 3. Opening and alleging that Christ must needs have suffered.
Read.
And risen again from the dead, and that this Yahushua whom I preach unto you is Christ.
No other. Don't obey, don't follow nobody else. It's all about Yahushua. He's the one. He's the one that have a relationship with you. Keeping the 7th day is what? It's between you and Yahushua, your God, and only your God, and not nobody else. And with this, we say, Shabbat, Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua.